Good morning, students. So today's online classes would be for class 6 SST. Subject will be SST, and the part I am going to teach you is civics chapter 1, that is understanding diversity. It is written on the board also. Civics for class 6 ABC chapter 1, understanding diversity. Now, diversity. What is diversity actually? Diversity is complexion or differences. Okay, and as we are staying in India, so we would be studying the diversities to the point, means according to India only. India is a diverse country, means India is a complex but interesting country also. We would be understanding the whole chapter over here. So before going into the chapter, I want to make you something clear, that diversity didn't came today or in the last few hundred years. It was always present on the earth planet. Okay, it was always. As you can take the time when the dinosaurs were there. But when dinosaurs were there, not only dinosaurs were present on the earth, but even the other animals were also present on the earth. Other types of animal, maybe lizard or maybe grasshoppers, maybe fishes, all were present at that time also. Snow age, at that time also different types of people or humans or animals were also found. Diversity is this thing only. You can take it diversity in human beings, animals or plants also. Diversity exists all over the place in every form of life and creature. Okay, so now continuing, I have written some points on the board. I would be keeping the board in front of you. You can note it down, that those are the points we are going to deal in this chapter. Okay, one by one we will be dealing it. I think you have noted it. For noting down, please pause the video over there when the blackboard is shown to you, and pause it and then note it down in your copy. That will be helpful to you. And for that also, when I am teaching you, when you are watching this video, you have to open up your books and follow the books over there. Follow the paragraph wise books over there, so that it is more understandable to you or recognizable by you. Now coming to the chapter. The first point what we are going to understand is what is diversity. What does diversity mean? People with different, it is also given in the first line of your chapter, you can follow over there. People with different appearances, religious beliefs and practices coexist in the world. This is called diversity. Means people with different appearances. Appearances means people who are looking different from one another. All the people around you are not similar in faces, not similar in characteristics also. One people may be tall, one person may be short, one person may be fat, one person may be thin, all different types of people. Okay, now different types of people are having different types of religion also. Maybe some Hindus, Muslim, Christian and Buddhism, all different religious people you would be finding in front of you. And beliefs also, beliefs and practices also. Maybe some people would be thinking that throwing a coin inside the water may bless may God bless that person. God will bless that person who throws a coin inside the water. But some other people would be thinking that if you take out a stone out from the pond and keep it outside the pond, it would be a blessing to the person from the God. So these are the two different types of thinking or beliefs or practices the people can do. Opposite thing, but they all go on to the same ultimate goal. That is same ultimate goal over here is the blessing of God, getting the blessing of God or something like that, or good luck, something like that. If you throw a coin inside the pond, you would be having a good luck. They are saying that some people may say that no, you should take out a stone from inside the pond and take it out and keep it outside somewhere in the pond, near the pond. That would be a good luck. So these are the different religious beliefs or beliefs and practices they do. These all things coexist. Coexist over here is a big word over here. Coexist means living together. Coexist means existing together. Like we know a word in our school generally, co-education. Co-education means education with all. In your classroom also, if you would be facing, we are not in the classroom, but you would be facing in the future course of time, or you have faced in the past time, that in your classroom also lots of different types of people are studying in your classroom. Your own classmates are different in nature, different in religion, different in maybe speech or practices or beliefs, but all they coexist together. Coexist means they all live together, they all study together. That is actually happening all over the world, not only in our school or our classroom, but all over the world. This is called diversity. What is called diversity? To live together, to coexist together, to live in harmony, and to uh, succeed or excel in our life. That is called diversity. Being different in individual patterns, we are different, but we all live together to succeed in our life. Second point on the board also it is given, that is diversity in India. What types of diversity you can find in India? What are the different types of diversities which are found in India? Number one is religious diversity. India is full of people. If you can, I can say that is the second most populated country in the world. That is almost 13 to 17% of the world population, that is 3 billion people. 13 to 17% of the population exists in India only. It is lot of people, sir. It is 1.30 crores. Okay, 1.30 crores people. But all the people do not follow one religion. Many of the people are following different religion. Many means all are in different religion. And what are the religions practiced in India? You would be knowing it. It is given in the book also. It is Hinduism, mainly Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, and Sikhism. Okay, these are the four major religions which are found in India. And along with those, some more religions, you would be very much familiar to these four, but other religions also coexist in India, not only in India, in other parts of the world also, like Buddhism, Jainism, and Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is a modern way of living and religious belief, modern religious belief, not very old. It is old, but you would be not very much familiar to it, so it is okay. Coming back, point number 2, the second diversity found in India, that is regional and cultural diversity. What is regional and cultural diversity? The food habits of Indian people, dressing style of Indian people, and system and beliefs of Indian people. What are the food habits? You can say that in Bihar, people like to eat that litti and chokha, but in Gujarat, they would be not liking to eat litti and chokha. Or in Kerala, they would not like to eat litti and chokha. They would be liking maybe idli or dosa. In Kashmir, they would be liking to eat some type of apples or something. But in the southern part of India, they don't like apple so much. They like tamarind. Tamarind means imli. Okay, so these are the food habits of different types of people having a different type of food habits. Dressing style also changes from place to place and from states to states in India. In the southern part, you would be finding the people are wearing some kind of lungi or shirts, but in the northern part, in the Punjab, Haryana side, you would be finding that people are wearing some type of kurta pajama. Okay, in Bengal side, you would be finding people are wearing dhoti kurta. Okay, these type of dressing style also changes. These are the diversities that you can find in India. And system and belief, they have their own system and beliefs. Maybe some of the people would be thinking in some village or some state, they would be thinking that okay, cutting down trees is a severe crime, and they would punish the people who would cut the trees. You can see in Rajasthan and other places also, there is a severe punishment for cutting the trees. But cutting a tree in Assam, Nagaland, and the eastern states, the seven sister states, it is not a very big deal over there, because the seven sister states are the mostly dense forested area. There is a lot of forest. If you cut down one branch or two branches, there is no problem in that. But we should not cut down branches. They also don't cut down it intentionally, but for their own purpose, for the use purpose. If they cut it down one or two branches, there is no problem. But in Rajasthan and Haryana and all those places where water is very less, the forest is not there, means negligible forest is there, only cactus or some bubble trees are grown over there. At those places, cutting down any tree or any branch, any leaf is a crime over there, a big crime over there. Okay, so this type of system and beliefs can run in different places of India. Third number is linguistic diversity. Linguistic diversity is a big diversity, sir. How it is a big diversity? Because India is full of languages and dialects. Dialects means boli in Hindi, you can say, and languages means bhasha in Hindi. Language means bhasha in Hindi and dialects means boli, जो बोली इस्तेमाल करते हैं बोलने के लिए. Okay, so India is full of different types of languages and diversities in their dialects also. It can be proven by very simple thing that India doesn't have any national language. Official national language does not persist in India. No one language you can say that this is our national language. No, sir, it is not true. No national language is prevailing in India according to the constitution or law. However, the most popular language in India is English and Hindi. These two languages are most popular in India, that is English and Hindi. How many languages prevail in India? That is a big question. More than 800 languages prevail in India and more than 2000 dialects, that is Boli, prevail in India. So this is a big number. That is why we cannot take out one language and say this is our national language. We cannot say that. Now, however, in constitution or in our law, it is officially recognized, the constitution has officially recognized 22 official languages. Official languages means the languages which are accepted in the government offices. 22 official languages are there. No national language is there. Now, you can turn back the pages, go on to the next paragraphs and all. The economic diversity in India. Next point is, the last point, economic diversity. Yes, sir, economic diversity is a vast big difference over here. What is economic? Economic in the sense of money or business. Okay. You can see in India that in one city or one village only, the most poorer person is living over there. Most poorer person. But in that same city or same village or town, the most richest person of India is also living over there. Okay. You can see this difference over there. That one person is very, very poor and one person is very, very rich. This is the economic diversity. You can find it. Nobody is having equal income or equal salary or equal amount of money they are having at their home. It is not possible in India. Not possible, it can be possible, but it is not prevailing in India now. Okay, the economic differences are there within the people. Some are very poor, some are okay, some are lower middle class, some are middle class, some are upper middle class, some are rich, some are wealthier, and some are super rich. Okay, you can see over there. It can be proven by the government data only. The government data collected by NSSO, National Statistical Operations and Data, NSSO. Okay, it reports almost every 5 to 7 years. In 2011-12, they gave a report that if a person in Uttar Pradesh, in any village, if a person living in any village in Uttar Pradesh earns 25 rupees, will be not called a poor person. Okay, it was the data given by the government only, that anybody earning more than 25 or 25 rupees in any of the village of Uttar Pradesh, he or she would be not considered as a poor person, because they can afford their life over there with 25 rupees per day. Sorry, 25 rupees per day, we have to say. Okay, NSSO also did a report in 2017-18, but the data has not been published by the government. Why they have not published in 2017-18 or 19-20 also? Till now they have not published it. We can ask question about it, but we don't have any data about it, so I cannot discuss it over here. Now, coming back to the third major point of the chapter, causes of diversity. Okay, you can say that, sir, so many types of diversities are there in India. So many different types of people are living, cultural beliefs, religious beliefs, language differences, dress differences, food habit differences, economic conditions are differences. So how this is possible? What happened that these kind of diversities prevail in India? Yes, sir, there are reasons behind it. Mainly is historical and geographical causes which caused the diversity in India. We can take some examples to elaborate this statement. Why geographical and historical causes affected the diversities in India? We are taking two examples over here. It is given in a book also. One example is Ladakh and one example is Kerala. So if you can notice the Indian map, okay, Ladakh is almost on the northernmost part of India and Kerala is located in the southernmost part of Indian map. Okay, so the difference between the two states are huge. It is in the northern states and it is in the southern states. So Ladakh, what is the historical cause for having any difference in Ladakh or Kerala? Ladakh is very much different from Kerala, sir. Even climatic conditions also are different over there. Ladakh is very much cold over there, but Kerala is very much hot over there. Okay, so what are the historical causes? We are talking about that. Historical causes are that Ladakh was immensely invaded by the Chinese and the Arabs for trade practices in the earlier period of time. Okay, from the China and Arabian countries, they came into Ladakh for trade businesses and all. In Kerala, however, almost world's most other countries came over there. Generally from the Arab countries or the European countries also came over there to have invaded for trade and business. Okay, because it is near to the sea and European countries could come over there by the help of ships, but they could not reach Ladakh. So what they brought over there? When they were doing trades in these places, they were coming here and going back, again coming back. They were coming and going over there. They brought something over here and gave it to them. What they gave it to them? One is for Ladakh, the big thing. The big thing they gave in Ladakh was Buddhism, the religion. Ladakh, you will find most of the people are Buddhist. Follow the Buddhism religion, follow Siddhartha or Gautam. That is Gautam Buddha. Okay? But in Kerala, most of the European countries came over there or Arabian countries came over there. Not the Chinese country came. Okay, so for that, they are invaded by the people mainly from Christianity and Islam. Okay, so you would be finding most of the people over there in Christianity religion. Buddhism you will not find over there. So according to the religion only, they formed their own beliefs, their own standards according to the religion, their own food habits, because of the local grown structure what was growing over there. Because Ladakh, you cannot grow cabbage in Ladakh, but you cannot grow apple in Kerala. It is very different places. So whatever they were growing over there, they were eating those things only. So their food habits also changed like that only. Now the geographical condition, because I have told you that Ladakh is in the northernmost part of the country and Kerala is in the southernmost part of the country. So what happened? Ladakh, where the main thing or main business what Ladakh was doing or Kerala was doing, Ladakh's main business was to rear sheep. Sheep means the sheep's bhed. They were rearing sheep over there. It was very easy because they were having a lot of grasslands over there. Okay, but because Kerala was in the coastal region, they were doing the business in fishing. They were having a lot of fishing over there by the help of nets. Nets means bigger nets, fishing nets. So these two were having two different types of occupation in their lifestyle. According to that, some more business came into place. What was the business taking place over there? Ladakh became famous for the Pashmina shawl. Pashmina shawl means the wool which we get from the sheep. They were used to make Pashmina shawls, which are very famous all over the world, which is very warm and cozy. But Kerala became famous for its spices because they were having black and red soil over there, and it was very much capable of producing almost every kind of spices, that is maybe turmeric, ginger, or black pepper, anything, any spices you can call. And Kerala became famous for that, and they were trading on that thing only. So these type of differences you can find in Kerala and Ladakh. These are the geographical and historical differences which cause diversity in India. Now coming back to the fourth point, that Pandit Nehru's diversity. What is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's perspective of diversity in India? What he thought about the diversity in India? He clearly said India as a bundle of contradictions held together by strong individual threads. Pandit Nehru said that India is a bundle of contradictions, means each person is different from one another, but they all are held together in the form of individual threads. Individually, they are forming a bond between each other and they are held together. Mahatma Gandhi also once said or remarked something, that Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of India. What he said? Hindus and Muslims, the two religious belief people, are the two eyes of India. These statements or these quotations, what they made, were actually, these statements speak volumes about the importance of unity amidst diversity in Indian context. You can say that these statements speak a lot about the diversity in India and how does it prevail in India. Okay. Number fifth point. We are coming to the last part of the chapter, that is unity in diversity. Yes, sir. We are diverse, but we have unity in ourselves also. We are not different from each other. Maybe a Punjab rock star would be selling tickets in Odisha, or a Kerala football player would be cheered by a Bihari people because he is playing for our nation, or Maharashtrian dance performer would be cheered by the Kashmiri people, because all are born together. Okay. So what is unity in diversity? There had been violence on the basis of regional and ethnic grounds. There had been a lot of violences on the basis of religion, regional factors, or ethnic beliefs. As a nation in whole, that is India in whole, we must learn to celebrate our differences. We must learn how to celebrate our differences. Okay. And strengthen our unity so that India can truly embark on a journey of progress. And we should be different, but being different also, we can strengthen our unity to embark our journey, to start our journey towards the progress of India. Okay. So this was the whole chapter about diversity in India, and you would be getting the question paper also for 20 marks, which you would be solving on your own. And the exercise part also, you should solve it on your own. Okay. At last, I can only say that in India we celebrate the commonality of major differences. We are land of belongings rather than of blood. So that's all for now. Thank you.